next page of those messages is that screenshot that shows payments will be made. And then Mr. Matlala says to you, you can send account number. You see where I'm reading?
Yeah.
Okay, at page 6. And then at page, at the bottom, something is sent to you. And then at page 7, right at the top, you say received. This is on the 4th at 15:13. You see that, received. Yeah. As I understood it, you were confirming received payment. Yes. Okay. And then that is at 15:13. Then you have a call, again at 15:13 still. And the next time you say Morgan is sorted, it's 15:17. At which point do you say Mr. Matlala and Mr. Maumela were each calling you, pressuring you to pay?
No, this was before these payments came, before he paid me.
Yes.
We were talking on not exactly on this day. I'm saying before the payment come, Mr. Maumela was putting pressure on Mr. Matlala. At the same time, Mr. Matlala then says to him, he must call me. He was calling me as well. I said, the payment's not there. There's no money yet. Can't pay if there's
But
no
why
money.
would Mr. Matlala say he must call you when he knows you don't have payment yet? It doesn't make sense.
Yes, but he kept on telling him that. He said, no, speak to Carrim, speak to Carrim. And then Morgan would call me and say, when is the payment happening? When is the payment happening? Because Matlala said to Morgan, I have the inside information, supposedly. So that's why Morgan kept on calling, when is the money coming? I need the money. When is the money coming? I need the money.
So even before you received payment, you had
Yeah,
agreed?
they knew already that payment is coming.
Yeah, I'm asking a different question. Even before you received payment, even before Tamiz received payment from Medicare, you had already agreed that it would work this way, this scheme would work. You would pass on money to Mr. Matlala, to Mr. Maumela.
Yes, the
Even
discussion
before you
started.
received
Yes, the discussion started before the payment came in. They were putting pressure before the payment. They wanted to convince me before the money comes in. They wanted to convince me that I must pay this money.
So your answer.
Mr. Carrim, I just want to deal with the issue of that limited period where you had people with some sight into Medicare accounts. And your rough estimate of that period is July, August 2024, and then again, possibly the month of September, maybe spilling into October.
Under correction, might be October or November, December. We just need to, yeah.
Sure. Did anyone ever report to you that payments have started to flow? And I want to play open cards with you because
yes, they did tell me payments were coming in. At that time, Mr. Matlala didn't want to pay me. He then said to me, he's just trying to recoup some of his investment that he'd already put into the site establishment. So he was already getting paid, yes.
So you knew he was already getting paid, but you essentially cut him some slack?
Well, he asked for a breather, yes, for 1 or 2 payments, just to recover.
And were you aware that the payments continued from September all the way through each month until the first time that you got paid at the end of January, well, you got paid in February in respect of payments that were authorized at the end of January?
No.
So you knew that some payments were being made, you didn't know, and
all, yeah.
You didn't know all of them, and at what point, well, you can't tell me at this stage because you need to get specific dates, but you'll give us those dates tomorrow.
Yes.
As to when you were, as to when you lost sight of movements on the Medicare accounts. Chair, I'm about to move to another topic, and I'm mindful of the fact that Mr. Carrim and his legal team are wanting to break the fast, and so I don't want us to run past 4. I'm in your hands. I can continue, but then we will be stuck overnight in the middle of a subject.
Can we
think
proceed
it's-
until 4 p.m., Mr. Bana?
How long is the next topic likely? Our learned friend indicates he won't finish the topic.
My guess is we're looking probably at about half an hour, but I can't be sure.
Without binding him, how long does he think he'll be tomorrow? If we adjourn now, we're likely...
No, we will certainly finish tomorrow.
My co-commissioner has a few questions. Let's see how far that goes.
I certainly will not take 30 minutes. Just a few clarifications. Mr. Carrim, you say that, I'm trying to understand the nature of your relationship or interaction with Mr. Matlala before you advanced this 10 million rand to Medicare. And in your statement, this is how you describe it. You say at paragraph 6, at some stage, to the best of my recollection, during June 2024, I received a telephone call from Mr. Matlala requesting a meeting with me. I know Vusi as we both operate in the private sector, in the private security sector. I'm director, and you name your company, Fusion Tactical Team, there. Where you say, and then the next, and that's what really makes me want to ask you this question, you say, prior to this, to the best of my recollection, I had no engagement, relationship, or dealings with Vusi beyond knowing in a general sense who he is. Now, paragraph 7 suggests that you just knew him by name as someone who's in your industry, and had nothing to do with each other. That's what you're conveying in paragraph 7?
Yes.
Is that the
Yes.
accurate reflection of the nature of your relationship?
Yes.
And then please explain this, which is difficult for me to understand, that he calls you in June out of nowhere, you have no prior relationship with him, and then he tells you, I've got a contract, I need money, and then you give him 10 million rand without, there's no written agreement at that point, you start paying into the account. There is no written agreement for 10 million rand, which maybe in your world it's nothing. In my world, 10 million rand is a lot of money to part with without any document, that a legally binding document that defines the relationship. So that's one, that you enter, you provide money. Not only do you agree, but you also start paying. You have nothing in writing, 1. 2, apart from telling us that repayment will be made at the equivalent of 10% of all payments until the 20 million is paid up, you don't say to us when those payments, what was agreed, in fact. And I got confused when you start getting anxious in December, because nowhere do you, for example, say, I know he was receiving money. That's why I started becoming anxious. There's this gap in information in your statement. How do you explain advancing 10 million rand to somebody that you have no prior business relationship with? You know him just by name, and that he's in the same business as you, and you do so without a binding agreement to protect your interests. Can you just explain that in a way that makes sense to me, at
Yes, I
least?
can, Commissioner. Sorry. So when he approached me initially and he showed me this appointment letter that he had this contract, we spoke on several issues. We spoke about security. What security does he have, or does he have any security? Did he go to the banks? No. We then agreed, let's do a site visit. went to his premises in Menlyn, like I've said in my statement, and I did a full spectrum site visit where I was then also introduced to Mr. Michael van Wyk, who's the overall CEO of Med24. He owns this company. Mr. van Wyk has been in the health industry for 20 years. So a lot of experience. And when I did my walkabout in the Med24, when I walked around on the floor, I saw blood banks. He had all the blood banks there. He had doctors on site. He was ready to go. I was quite impressed. Screens, the system was ready to go. And that gave me some comfort. And then I had a conversation with Mr. van Wyk. He's been in the business for 20 years. He then assured me that he's going to be overseeing this project with all his experience. He'll be doing all of this. So I had some sort of comfort from that. So when we came back and we agreed on the terms, we then agreed, okay, fine, I'll do this. He was in a hurry because he needed to enforce the contract. He needed to deliver on the contract. I saw that as an opportunity. As a businessman, I saw an opportunity. I thought, hey, you know what, here's a good deal. I can probably get my terms, and those were my terms.
What did you know about the financial health of this company into which you're paying money? And let me play open cards with you. I ask you these questions because I'm skeptical at this point about your evidence that says you had nothing to do with Mr. Matlala until June 2024, when out of the blue he calls you to say, you know, I have a business, I have this tender, give me money. And just like that, you give him money without protecting yourself with legally binding documents. So I have that skepticism about it. That's why I'm asking these kind of questions. You put in money, 10 million rand. What did you know about the financial health of Medicare that you were prepared to risk your 10 million rand?
Look, it was 360 million on his appointment letter. So that was what also attracted me as a business person. I look at the numbers. And I looked at my investment because initially he wanted 20. I said, I can't do 20, I can do 10. And Commissioner, even myself, when I get other deals, for example, if I don't have the capacity, I go out and look for investors. Somehow he reached out to me. Yes, how he reached out to me, it could have been Brown that sent him to me. It could be Mr. Maumela that sent him to me and said, phone this guy, he'll probably invest in your business. But when he presented his case, when I did my site visit, when I interviewed the CEO, I was convinced that this will happen. This contract is a good contract. We then agreed that we'll draw up paperwork, but we will do that as soon as the SLA comes. And according to him, the SLA was supposed to come in July, some mid-July. He gave me a date of mid-July. That SLA only came out in October. And I had that funding agreement ready for him to sign.
Did you ask him in June 24 when he comes to you how it is that he's coming to you? Here's someone
Yes,
that
yes,
you have
I asked
absolutely
him.
no relationship with. You know nothing other than the vague fact that he's in the same industry as you. Did you ask him how does he target you for this kind of thing?
He said to me that he sees my security companies, he sees my vehicles all over. He sees that I'm someone who's quite prominent in the security space, and this is an opportunity. So he then said to me, he got my numbers from one of my security guys, head of security, who's on the website of Fusion. He phoned that guy, asked him for my numbers, and that's how I got my numbers, and he called me.
So he came to you cold, basically. It's for all intents and purposes. It's
Yes,
someone
and,
walking from the street, knocking at your door and saying, I need 10 million rand, and you give it to him in these circumstances.
Commissioner, when he came to me, he didn't come from the street. He came in a Rolls Royce with about 25.
From the street, I think you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, he came with
from
about.
from the street as in,
Yes,
this is not a an acquaintance. This is not someone that you have done business with. This is not someone that you have even met socially, because that's what you're telling us. You have absolutely nothing to do with him. All you know is he's a player in the industry in which you have a company. So I mean streets in that way.
Yes, he was very impressive with his first appearance. I'm saying he came with maybe a big entourage. I think there was maybe like 25, 30 bodyguards. He came with the whole entourage. So I saw capacity. I saw someone that knows what he's doing. I saw someone that knows business. And for me, that was impressive.
Thank you.
Can I use this opportunity to help you clarify something you say in your conclusion? In 51.2, I think you were responding to a question whether you had any relationship with the Minister of Police. And then in 51.2, you say the contract was awarded during the tenure of the previous minister, Minister Gele. And then you say, it is clear that it is impossible and in fact untrue that you could have persuasive influence over two different ministers. Now that suggests that you had influence over one and not two. So can you just clarify that for me?
No, I had no influence over any of these ministers.
Do you have any relationship, or did you have any relationship with Minister Gele?
No, not at all.
But you knew him?
Well, we know him from TV and from being the former commissioner of police.
So you didn't know him socially?
No, not at all.
Thank you.
Something different? You say in paragraph 10, that's where you explain why you approached Mr. Mkhotsi. You say he's known as someone who is connected. What do you know about his connection or his being connected in the context of this transaction? What do you know about his connections?
Commissioner, he didn't say much, but he always said to me, we know him as a person that's connected everywhere. You need something done, you talk to Mr. Mkhotsi. You need to get something done, you need to find out something, you call Mr. Mkhotsi. He knows everybody. He just knows everybody.
Well, our particular interest here is his connection to the SAPS.
Yes,
let me finish. To the SAPS, but also to politicians. And you quite carefully say he's known as someone who is connected, so I would like you to unpack that. What do you know about the level and extent of his connections?
Look, Commissioner, for a long time he's been at various structures. He coordinates campaigns of the ANC. He's very active. And he said to me this, no, I'm connected in the police. I know the generals, I know everybody in the police. I said, okay, fine. And he made that statement.
This is before this transaction?
Yeah.
He has told you before that he knows the
long
generals.
time ago, not long, but maybe a year. But every time you see him, he knows everybody. He tells you, I know this, I know that. He just knows everybody.
Everybody, including politicians?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
I think for the record, I must mention that the ruling has been, or rather copies of it have been furnished to Mr. Carrim's legal representatives, the evidence leaders and my co-commissioners, and I've given instructions for it to be uploaded onto the Commission's website. So for those interested, it will be available there. Yes,
Sorry,
yes.
Chair, there were just some documents that Mr. Carrim was going to look for overnight. The one was his two-pager agreement with Mr. Matlala in relation to the mining venture. Second was the draft agreement that he had with Medicare 24. The third was details of the accountant who instructed that Mr. Matlala should pay